something that concerns me, but I don't really care that much about Apple having to build a custom image in order to pull terrorist text messages off.
And I think I think it's like you said, it's bigger than this of what's going on. I mean, because we created ISIS, we've created we wouldn't even be here. We hadn't went over in certain countries, but we have a certain greed, and we're just going to keep expanding. We keep going into places and creating things, and then you yell back to the idiots here, and tell them, oh well, the ISIS is doing this, and well, what are you doing over there? So we didn't went from Al Qaeda, Taliban, now we got ISIS. Then who else are we going to create? We're going to keep creating these different places, and we know that Afghanistan's got all the opium. Okay, so guess what? Opium's
not all of it. Wait, no.
Well, but that they have a massive opium problem. So that the Americans know about that also. Okay, so we also, like I said, you don't need to go to Afghanistan. To me, I don't think you need to go to Afghanistan or go to any of the other countries to see. Just go right over to war-ass Mexico and see how they kill people. I mean, they keep talking about chopping off arms and legs and heads and all the stuff that happened. That's right across our border. They're hanging people from bridges, butt naked, with the heads off. Yeah. And it's like, that's not over.
Basically, why spend the money to go to Afghanistan when for a fraction of the cost, you can go to Mexico?
Right, you can go right over
Terror tourism. I think it's a new industry.
And come back with some prescription drugs, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
La farmacia.
See.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
so well, I do find it interesting that the Pope, I think it was, to bring it back full circle, I think it was commendable that he chose to go to the poorest, most dangerous area of Mexico and brought attention to this stuff. I mean, because the church Catholic Church has been subjected to a lot of problems from the narcos, as they call the drug gangs, and and he went. That took some stones to go out there. Yeah. The guy doesn't go in not even the Pope-mobile. He went handshaking hands.
Yeah, but they're not stupid enough.
Yeah,
to go,
El Chapo's in jail, man.
Okay, but you're not stupid
Half
enough.
the threat is gone.
You should know. Look, they don't. I believe that we could go over there and they don't want to shoot the Pope. You don't want to do that. They like this guy. Everybody likes this guy.
There are lines that you don't cross. Like that's. I don't think the folks in the cartels are going, what's the one thing that we could do that's really going to make the government crack down on us once and for all? Hey, let's kill the Pope. I think they know, that they're already literally getting away with murder. Let's not make the situation that much worse where the government is forced into action.
Yeah, don't fuck up a good thing, constantly getting away with murder. But I do like that the Pope has shown the willingness to do this. I do think it's a very Christian example. I mean, he's gone to Central African Republic and all these war-torn places. I mean, I do think obviously there's a note of driving through and not sticking around, but at least he's shining a light on it. And I mean, if you're a figurehead, maybe that's something you should do.
That's what figureheads do.
Yeah, if you go to a place like that, I mean, you're stating that there's a problem here, but that's still coming down to the Mexican government. They killed mayors. Did you see the one mayor? She was only a mayor for a day.
Yeah.
She made a day. Boom. They snatched her that
it's
night.
Like a bad Schwarzenegger movie.
And just put a bullet in her head, man. Didn't even care she was with her kid. You will not laugh. She came out, I'm going to get rid of the drug. Wrong words. Don't say that. Just say, hey, hi. Got rid of her.
And then hire Blackwater to take out those motherfuckers.
Finally something good come out of Blackwater.
Yeah.
So, any other comment on that, or do you want to hit one more thing?
I think we can move on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got I say let's do the primaries, or police boycotting Beyonce, or the primaries. I think we talked about Beyonce a lot last week. So anything about the primaries? Anybody want predictions?
Rubio really kicked ass this week, I thought.
Really?
He didn't. I
don't know. I didn't really follow.
Doing what?
I know. His own ass, or
no. Well, for a conservative, he proposed eliminating funding for sanctuary cities. He said that 40% of illegal immigrants are people who overstayed their visas, which means that immigrants can get here already. So
we know that.
I know, but legally they can get here. So it's like, why do we need immigration reform? People keep talking about immigration reform, and it's just a buzzword, and I don't even know what that means. What does it mean?
Well, I mean, it depends what candidate you ask, but
no, I mean in general.
I mean, I think people see, and this is not, I don't think, accurate, but they see unrestricted immigration across the southern border, and they see, if you believe Trump's narrative, there's just floods and floods of people. That's not actually true. I mean, there's as many people going back now as there are coming across.
Yeah, because Kerry moved down there. We need our jobs.
They're following the jobs.
Yeah, I mean, I think the E-Verify is a thing. I think that, whether you give them a path to citizenship or a path to legalization, I mean, that's the big contentious topic. Bring them out of the shadows, or whether you deport them en masse and step up deportation. I mean, those are the sub-issues. It's like gun control. People say for or against gun control, but there's a million facets of that you can't be for or against and may work or not work.
Something else Rubio did is when Trump made the comment about that 9/11 happened on George W. Bush's watch, Rubio's the one that said that Bill Clinton had the chance to get bin Laden, but he was too busy to cigar fucking some fat chick in the Oval Office to take a shot at him. Okay. So
yeah, but it's still, you can't argue with the facts and with the history. It did happen during George W. Bush's presidency after Bush had been warned about it. It didn't happen on Bill Clinton's watch. It happened during the Bush administration, and it's yes. There were other circumstances. Yes, Osama bin Laden was a rising power in the world of terrorists during the Clinton administration, but the fact of the matter, the just bare basic fact, doesn't matter what went into it. It happened when he was president. Therefore, you cannot say he kept us safe. That's like, after your house burns down, saying, well, I prevented any fires from happening after that. So, yeah, but that one fire, it still happened.
And we finally lived to see the day where Dr. David Robinson agrees with Donald Trump. That has happened right here.
I gotta say that
broken clock twice a day.
So you agree with him twice a day? Awesome.
On some days. No, the man is an idiot, but he is occasionally capable of acknowledging certain facts.
Well, I think that, for one thing, Donald Trump he's super, xenophobic in some ways, but also a lot of his policies are extremely moderate for a Republican or the Republican field. And one of them is, his lack of support for the Iraq War. Retroactively, and stuff like that. I do think that people aren't addressing the fact that Clinton did fire a cruise missile at a training camp in Afghanistan where bin Laden was supposed to be and missed him by about half an hour. So I don't think you can say Clinton sat that one out.
Yeah, well, he did that after the Lewinsky scandal. It's like, oh, fuck, I got a blowjob. Let me do something to distract that.
No, it's, it's really easy to say that, but the fact of the matter is that so many people don't recognize, and I say this for both parties, presidents, people in general, are able to multitask. So it's, many people can only get a blowjob and only focus on that while they're getting the blowjob. And then after the blowjob is finished, focus on getting their next blowjob and only be focused on that. There are people who can, while they're getting a blowjob, be thinking, all right, well, when I'm done with this, I got to go to Ralph's and pick up some chicken, and I got to gas up the car. And then after the blowjob is finished, be simultaneously thinking, hey, it would be great, another blowjob. And also, I have to go put gas in the car. People can multitask.
Well, that's how you make it last.
Well, he was thinking, man, what do I have to do after this? Oh, yeah, fire a missile. I'll be right back, Monica. No.
Forgive me, I did get distracted for a second. Were you referring in the talking about the blowjob and multitasking? Did you mention the infamous pizza incident? Or I've got a great one about Clinton.
No, I did not mention pizza.
This is awesome. When he was rallying senators to vote to approve for the Bosnian airstrikes, he actually, and somehow it came out that he was getting serviced by Monica under the desk while enjoying a pizza and talking to Republican senators.
Now, if that ain't multitasking.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
why
I have a new respect for him. But
living the dream.
Well, also, Ted Cruz was my guy the last time we got together, and he lost points primarily because he was questioned by the moderators on what essentially a value-added tax, and he should have reacted like his hair was on fire when they called his plan a VAT, because the Tea Party and the Republicans hate the fucking VAT. They hate high taxes.
They just hate it under that name, apparently.
Yeah, it is a VAT. I mean, if he doesn't call it that.
I know, but that's what he did. He dodged it. Then he said, "Oh, well, it's not a VAT." I'm like, then you should have fucking answered it right away. You should have been at the front of your mind.
But the fact is, it is a VAT. And as long as we're talking about Ted Cruz, this has been a horrible week for Ted Cruz because he's been getting caught in a lot of the dirty tricks. We saw it, in Iowa with him basically sabotaging Ben Carson.
As if it needed sabotaging.
Right, okay. Exactly. Then that's, one of the things that I've said constantly on this show is that if you are so right, why do you need to lie about shit? Yeah. He lied about Ben Carson dropping out of the race, both in Iowa and New Hampshire. His campaign sent out false documents promoting his campaign, essentially telling people your votes are being monitored and counted, and this is what your neighbors are voting for. And now this week, the Cruz campaign released an obviously photoshopped picture of Marco Rubio shaking hands with President Obama. What's with the dirty tricks? Ted Cruz is revealing himself to be such a shady lawyer, and I say that because there aren't a lot of lawyers I hold in the high esteem. There are some and there are some that are good, but basically he is using his knowledge of the law. He's abusing it to be able to walk right up to the line of what's illegal, and just touch the line without stepping over it. And, yes, everything he is doing is within the bounds of legality. But is it ethical? I think America is finally looking up and saying, hell no. The only problem is you're dealing with a voter base that doesn't care about ethics, that doesn't care about anything except winning at any cost.
Well, I know Carl has something to say about this, so I won't respond right away.
Oh, go ahead.
No, because your ass was on fire this week about, Ted Cruz sucks and I want to break his legs. He released a Photoshop picture. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with him? He sucks.
Oh, yeah, no, I do think that...
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. Thank you for,
no, I do think that, for all the crap that people throw at Trump about, oh, my God, what horrible things he says, and I agree for the most part, but I think that what Cruz has done is actual... action that is contemptible 3 times now. I mean, once against Carson, second time lying to people's faces at the debate about it, third this. I mean, it's just like, where do you stop, and what is he going to do when he's president?
Well, nothing, because he will never be president.
I hope.
Or are you saying 3 things and just ignoring his entire record in the Senate?
Well, no, I'm saying that. Well, yeah, okay, good.
3 things this week.
Yeah.
I think that if you look at his history, he's a very smart guy, but I think he just has a clear pattern of twisting any power that he gets for his personal gain, with an utter disregard for what's for the public good, what's for the good of his party, what's good for anyone else. And he scares me, honestly, more than Trump. I think that he would abuse power, and I think that he would subvert democracy, and I see absolutely no evidence to make me believe otherwise.
Yeah,
Ted
Trump
Cruz,
at least cares about what they say about him in the polls.
Yeah, well, I saw Cruz's his campaign manager on one of the shows this week, and I was like, that is a slimy, shady motherfucker, that campaign manager. My fucking God. I mean, people can not like...
Like attracts like.
Yeah. I know there was an article in Psychology Today a couple weeks ago where some neurologist said, I don't like Ted Cruz's face, and here's why, and maybe you shouldn't like it either. And he said, the way he smiles, his smile should be turned up, and the corner of his eyebrow should be up and not down, and all that kind of shit. I was like, who's been attacked like that? You shouldn't like the guy's face. I mean, the only person that's been attacked worse on their appearance is Hillary. Honest to God.
I mean, but I hate those kind of attacks, because I can dislike Cruz, but if you are using basically phrenology to try to discredit him, you don't do the movement of anti-Cruz politics.
I mean, it's slightly more than phrenology. They're like, you, in terms of other practical applications, it's like finding someone's tell when they're playing poker, when you're interrogating them, finding out what they do every time they lie. Mm-hmm. And some people do have subconscious tells, for lack of a better term, which I think maybe not as valid as other sciences, but certainly more valid than phrenology.
How awesome would it be if Cruz had just a plate of Oreos, like the guy in Rounders, next to him in the debates, and just slowly unscrewed them when he was lying? That would be hysterical.
I didn't see Rounders and I'm laughing.